Hey, Whitey, how's it going? Scotty Wittlake has always been one of my favorite snowboarders. He spelled it the Canadian way with the OU. And is also a man of mystery. What are some of your favorite moments or stories with him?
God, his favorite stories. Like I say, I first met Scotty in '99 through Brad Kramer, who had, I think Blaze might have met him or something. And so he came in as this sleeper kid who I didn't know. It was very soft-spoken, but his footage, like say, spoke for itself and then some. I think it was just more meeting him that first summer and just how quiet he was about everything, you know, and shy, you know, but yet I always loved his principles. You know, he has such this inborn punk rock aesthetic, like instinct as far as like how he wants to live, and like by like very you know, anti kind of materialism for the most part, self-reliant, DIY, you know, just doesn't put up with this bullshit. He doesn't need to, you know? And so, like I say, the first time he won that award was kind of neat. But like we did that one sketch with this, because I knew he was so tough, like all of his riding. And so I knew I wanted to use this Sepultura song, the Black Sabbath cover, which I'm NIN, that song we used in his part. And that's why we have him riding that little kid's bike.
Or the bicycle.
Because it was like, I want something where it's like you're acting tough, but it's completely not tough at all. Because it's just kind of him making fun of it himself. And he was like, you know, weren't sure if he'd be down because he didn't know any of us. But he just ended up having so much fun and it was just so silly. And he was, you know, we had Blaze there who he had known. But then like, you know, the following year, because then, you know, he won Rookie of the Year, so he got more confident. And then Destroyer, incredible. We were like, we got to do some kind of like punky because he was already getting into it. And so he was more than happy to shave the mohawk. And that was my old car that he like was smashing stuff in, which that car we jumped through the trailer home I bought for $700. Because once again, I had no license. My van I had got stolen outside Andy Wright's house with all his equipment. And I needed a car, so I bought a 1974 Falcon for $700 and drove that thing back and forth between Utah and Oregon. And we jumped that car through the mobile home, ripped it off, and it popped the radiator. But Scotty's like, "Can I have it?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." And he fixed it himself, drove that thing back and forth between Oregon and Tahoe multiple times. He would drive it up on the hills, like in the videos. He'd smash shit. It lasted like 2 years. But that's just Scotty, you know. And then, you know, he had this great part in Brainstorm, you know, and then...
what about that Enders double slide? That thing was fucked up.
Yeah, he just kept on, you know, just putting it up. And then, you know, Happy Hour, he had that insane accident. But that's not what slowed him down, you know. And then he kind of took a year off in a way, like just wanted to disappear and snowboard, which I completely respect because he just wanted to ride. You know, he was just like, I just don't want to deal with all this stuff. And then Back in Black, because everybody loved Scotty, and he kind of was on the fence about filming something, but it never really happened. And then I'm just like, dude, everybody's expecting, because I like I say, I didn't shoot anything in Happy Hour, but on Back in Black, I didn't really film. It was Shane and Brad and I forgot who
Simon.
did. Simon.
Turcotte.
But I wanted to be a big part of the sketches. And so I was like, well, let's do something with you that's like a build-up, like it's some kind of like Jamie Thomas Zero kind of part, you know, with all this drama and shit, and kids are going to be so fucking hyped. But in reality, you're just at home like eating soup or whatever, because that's really what he was doing. And I thought it was kind of cool as an introduction to what was the young rider? Oh, Chris Tomolsky. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of a cool like handing the torch in a way too. But
you remember what happened that night?
Oh, shit.
Filming that?
Oh, my God. That's a pretty cool story.
That was messed up.
So we're shooting at this handrail for his fake buildup, you know?
Yep.
And it's right off this off ramp in Portland. But it's in this kind of a little outside of town. And we're shooting on the side of the road. You know, I got some like generators and some lights. And this is still shooting film. And all of a sudden there was like these cars come down the fucking on-ramp. And they like ram each other like poof, like in movies, and then
right next to us.
Yeah, and then like one guy goes off, and I think they pulled out a gun or something, and then like drove one car like went off the road or something, and then like ran out of the car, and then like somebody came back. It was just like it was like a full like gun battle, like
Grand
going
Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Yeah, total Grand Theft Auto, but right in front of our faces.
Yeah.
We're all stunned.
Yeah, we're like, it's just
Like, what?
It was just whips by us, and we're like, what the fuck? It was like, what is going on right now? We got all this snow we're putting on the, it is like July.
Yeah.
Scotty filled up the back of his pickup truck full of snow.
Yeah.
But I just love that because it was like, I knew people were going to be so kind of bummed. And I've heard rumors that there's this secret Wittlake part that someone told me recently. I'm like, no, sadly.
That doesn't exist.
Sadly, it doesn't exist.
We're debunking it.
Yeah, we're debunking that. But that's just Scotty, man. And like, as you probably know that, Scotty since then, it's like he's just been exploring the world with his wife in their camper all over, man. He's been all around the globe and back. And it's everything he does, like him donating all of his profits to Food Not Bombs and, whatever, like for that last board of LibTech. Like, I don't know, man. That dude rules.
Genuine guy.
Just such a character. I mean, the idea, I don't know if you remember him biking from Portland to New York City, but he had this average bike and he biked all the way from Portland to New York City with just like regular clothes on, like not biking pants. He had jeans and like a backpack, slept under ramps and under ramps and so forth, whatever. Got to New York City and started working as a bike messenger until someone finally stole his bike like 2-3 months later and then came home. But like, that right away is like the most punk rock thing in the world.
In the midst of every kid in the world wanting him to like film or be a pro snowboarder, he's like, I'm just gonna go do this.
Yeah, and then also just like literally living on no money.
Yep.
He wore the same clothes for like months. Like there's no fake. He wasn't. Now people would do that, but they would film every moment and be posting it daily.
Good point.
Truly.
Like he never ever even commented on it. People were like, I heard Wittlake was there 3 weeks ago. Like he never touted his own shit. That's what's so great in this world where everyone's like, you got to know everything I'm doing all the time. I wouldn't do anything unless I'm filming it, kind of thing.
So true.
Yeah.
And so that's
the
why
most
it's
sincere.
like, yeah, clearly he's doing it for himself, for no one else.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Another one, I know you said you didn't work on it except for the skits, but I always feel like that Jeff Anderson Back in Black part was something special.
yeah, I gotta give a lot of that tips of Shane filming so much, but also Brad being really a big part of like wanting that thing to be right, and getting the opening and incorporating a lot of the imagery and had through that thing. Like we worked with a friend who did After Effects, and Brad really wanted this one song we couldn't get, and the song we got, Granddaddy song, we actually did pay for that one because he really wanted that thing, and I think it worked out great. And these two guys, Shane and Brad being the two, it's so special because it's like. It's so him, and it's like, it's just so tragic that, that happened during the thing and that it was called Back in Black was just super surreal. I'm really, so grateful that we were actually able to get that, to have that moment in time that's always going to be around, but super tragic. I mean, geez.
Yeah, that's, it's like, as you were saying, the group of everyone traveling together and doing everything is so much more than snowboarding.
Yeah.
And I feel like that moment with Jeff was like kind of a shattering of our childhood. Yeah. This is just going to be all good forever.
And it's so rad because like in the video, like we weren't trying to hype it up, but how there's so many moments with Shane and Jeff, where it's like, Shane putting the hand over the lens so he knows where the good trick is, but you could hear the energy and the stoke, and then Jeff like coming up and the hug, like, oh, that's so genuine because obviously no one knew what was in store. It's not like it was this manipulated thing. Like we tried to get this feeling there. It was all there. So it's like it really shows how the relationship between these guys had, and that's what made it so special,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's fantastic. So